All right. So we just had a little bit of an audio issue there. So we're going to do a part 2 here, where we're just going to continue on. That
Part
happens
two,
in
player 2.
yeah, player 2. That's what happens when you do live streaming, right? You gotta. Anyways, okay, so let's move on. So we were just talking about your dresses there, and you were saying your friend, and yes, that awesome. Let me just put it on there
Stylist,
for a sec.
stylist,
Yes, your stylist.
production designer extraordinaire, Lizzie Fee. Yes.
All right, we could. Okay, so that's cool though. I mean, that was one of the things I really like thought was awesome when I saw those pictures. I was like, where did she get those dresses? Like, it's just that fabric. I could drape my house in that fabric.
Yes, I call it my conky dong dress.
Conky dong or danky king.
Exactly.
Okay, so the other question I was going to ask you, and I think I might know the answer now because I think I heard one. And do you have any video game related songs? Like, do you actually write songs with like Sonic in there, or video games related, or anything, or do you just kind of keep that as a side thing and don't mix the two?
Well, no, I'm mixing the two, especially now with the new EP. It's all video game based, an EP, like 5 or 6 songs, and the whole theme is video games. The other album, Let's Play, was more a general theme of playing and being playful and bringing nostalgia back and being a big kid. And even though there is a song on here called Pinball and Video Games, so that's like the first song on here, but the rest of it, there's a few more themes on here, but it's not just video games. But the next EP is going to be like just video games.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and video game sounds as well. And I mean, again, it's like it's a huge part of me, but it's not all of me. It's just one side of me, and that's why it's great that you could be an artist and you make more than one album. It's like it's one of the reasons why I love Radiohead, is because none of their albums sound like the other.
Yeah.
But it's still Radiohead, and they're amazing. They can cross genre and still get their message across, which I just love.
Yeah, they kind of each album has its own unique sound and its feel to it. You don't feel like you're listening to the same. That's awesome. So I think we kind of touched on this. Oh, sorry, what was that?
What's your favorite? Like, OK Computer would be my Desert Island album. So if you had to pick one, what would you take with you on a desert island?
Like an album?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, that's a tough one.
It is.
You know what? The one album I've been listening to recently a lot is, and I listened to this as a kid, was the Traveling Wilburys, believe it or not. And it's strange because I've been listening to them a lot more lately, and then just recently Tom Petty passed away.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because when I was working and I was listening to Volume 3, their second album, and my coworker turned and said, Tom Petty just died. And I'm like, what? And as she said that, I was actually listening to Tom Petty singing in my ear.
Wow.
I'm like, that's creepy. I'm like, I'm listening to him right now. This is not happening.
It's your fault. He died.
I killed him. Well, and the thing was, I was always thinking, they were from the 80s, right? They all formed, it was all, superstars. And, since George Harrison's death, that we all knew that there could never be another album, right? But I'm like, well, at least we still have Tom Petty, we still have Bob Dylan, and some of the other, Jeff Lynne, and now we lost Tom Petty. So I'm like, crap.
Yeah.
I still remember being upset when Roy Orbison died. So to me, I think, and that's probably what would be my favorite, because even though I like the metal, I like Metallica, and I like all that stuff, but I think that album is just brilliant. It was just, you got 5 amazing musicians put together, and they didn't just do it to become famous or anything. They did it because they wanted to do it. It was a passion.
Yeah.
And so I would have to go with that one.
Awesome. Speaking of music, so the new EP, it's not titled yet, that I'm coming out with, that's video game based. The producer I'm working with is awesome, so I want to give him a shout out. His name is David Andronico.
Sweet.
And fun fact about David Andronico, he's also an amazing songwriter and musician, and he has his own like projects and everything. And one of his most recent projects, he posted saying he wrote some music that's now in the new NHL hockey game 2017. So
wow, cool.
Yeah, so I was so excited for him. I'm like, he's got music in a video game.
Like it's actually gonna be like one of the songs that play when you're, the intro or something like that, or.
I guess so. I haven't played the game yet, but I saw his post. I was really excited for him.
It's been a long time since I've actually sat and played one of those NHL. Probably the last one I would have played would have been like '96, NHL '96. Going back to the Sega Genesis days.
Yeah.
Played on the Sega Genesis.
I play. So, like I said, I have a Sega Genesis at home. I've had one since 1990. And then for the times that I cannot play at home, and like say I'm stuck on the subway or something, I'm in New York City, I got my favorite, which is the Sonics. I got Sonic 2, 1, Sonic CD, Sonic 4, but my favorite is 2. So I just push on this little bad boy, and then the Sega comes up.
Sweet.
Yeah.
How do you like? Yeah, do you ever play a lot of, like, do you play any retro games on that thing? Like,
yeah, this is what I play. This is what I'm showing you.
That's what it is?
Yeah.
How do you find the controls, though? Like,
I love it. It's
I have, so it's all touch, yeah.
So what happens with the controls, I love it a lot more because with the actual controller, if I play for like 6 hours, I'll get a blister. But with this, you don't get a blister.
I always found that the touchscreen wasn't as responsive for me. I don't know, but I play like I have the Activision one for the Atari on my phone because I live in the Atari days, and some games it's not fast, like it's not responsive enough. Like I try to play Pitfall and Hero and some of the other like really games. And the thing about the Atari was the controls were everything. If you didn't have the controls, you would lose for sure. Like some of them had to be precise, and they were designed for that joystick, not a gamepad. Another issue.
Yeah, I had that joystick, and so like I guess for Sonic it's really smooth, like it's really a lot easier for me.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. But for other games, maybe you're right. I haven't really played too many other games on my phone. I play my favorites. But I remember like even with the Atari joystick, like I felt like I was gonna break it because
actually a lot of people do break them. I see how people say that a lot on the Atari Facebook group and stuff, that they've smashed their just that rigorous playing and it just snaps and the button or whatever just fails on you. And
yeah,
they were notorious. So,
I tried really hard to not have ET fall into the pit when I was playing Atari, and that's when I felt like the controller could have snapped. But
that's one of those games where you throw the controller. I actually did that a lot with my Nintendo. I just get so angry playing Battletoads or something like that. I'd be like, "Stupid game, fling." Luckily, I had a carpeted floor.
I do have a newfound respect for ET, by the way, after I saw the documentary.
Yes,
and after I learned that they only made it in 6 weeks, and it's the best game ever made in 6 weeks. So
Howard Scott Warshaw put a lot of work into that in a small amount of time and was able to pull off an amazing game compared to what they had. Yeah. If you compare it to the other games on Atari, they're much more simple, one board, either dot gobbling or like a little arrow shooting things. And so for him to create that and not just take the default route and just create a Pac-Man clone was amazing. I mean,
it's amazing, and he probably didn't even sleep, for like 6 weeks.
And he also did Indiana Jones, and he did
hats off to him.
Yar's Revenge. He did a lot of great games. So, he was, thumbs up to him. And most people that bash ET don't even understand the rules, and they don't even know why they're bashing the game. Like, they just don't. It's just going with the flow. Everybody hates it. Well, so I guess my other question, I probably already answered this, but I guess do you consider yourself a retro gamer or a modern gamer?
Absolutely retro. Like I said in part 1, if you give me a Wii, I'll just be like, I don't know how to play. I think
or an Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan. I mean, I really like I said, I want to expand my woman cave, and if I had the time, I honestly would get every console that there's out there and figure out what my favorites are on each of the consoles and then just play all those. But I kind of just stuck with my Sega Genesis, and I still have my Atari. I actually think I still have the Commodore 64 too, dusting away somewhere.
That was my staple when I was a kid as well. I grew up with the Intellivision and the Commodore 64. So, and my Intellivision lasted so long before it broke on me. And then I had my Commodore for the longest time before I didn't get a Nintendo until much later, like late 80s.
Right. And that was like gold when that came out. I mean, like I said, I remember going to friends' houses and just being like, let's play Mario.
Yeah. I was the same. I'd go to my friend. He had Super Mario Brothers and Legend of Zelda. And I was like, I guess I'll just go home and play my Commodore. I'll play my Atari.
But the great thing is, like, none of those would exist without the earlier ones.
Oh, boy.
I want to can I give another shout out?
Sure, go ahead.
Since we're talking about video games. So a new book is coming out. I don't know if you know, and a friend of mine wrote it, Patrick Hickey Jr., and it's called, it's a book about the retro games, like the past 30 years and the stories behind them.
Oh,
and it's
nice.
So exciting, and it's called The Minds Behind the Games, I think. Wait, I don't want to mess this up.
Yeah.
It's a long title, but it's so I heard about it before I even met this guy through a mutual friend, which is amazing. Like, because she knows how much I love video games and how I'm incorporating it into my music and everything. And she was like, "Oh, my coworker is coming out with a book, and it's going to be like the ultimate like book about video games and yeah, and the stories behind them." And I was just so excited, and then ended up meeting him, and it's fate. So yeah, follow him. His name is Patrick Hickey Jr. Jr. and that's his handle on Twitter. That's his handle on Instagram.
Cool. What we could do is when we're done this live cast, we can actually put it in the description as well.
Awesome. The Minds Behind the Games: Interviews with Cult and Classic Video Game Developers. Dun dun dun.
Nice.
So that's not out yet.
There's a few books
coming out.
Few books that I've seen that are worth getting, and this looks kind of interesting.
I know, I can't wait. And there's a chapter on ET, I heard. So people who read it, they will come to maybe respect what it took to make that game.
Well, yeah, that's the ultimate thing there. Is if you can get people to appreciate the old ones, not just call them old games or be like, whatever, they're all crap, because that's what a lot of people do, right? They slam them. They never even.
Yeah, it's like, dude, make your own game. See how easy it is.
Yeah. And they didn't have anything to reference back then either, right? Today we have so much.
Definitely.
We could reference so much.
Definitely.
Okay, so I think we might have already answered this one, but you might give a different answer. But do you have an all-time favorite game? Could be Sonic, but you might surprise us.
I do very much love Sonic 2 more than Sonic 1, I guess. Maybe it's because I played Sonic 1 more, but right now, like, I really miss Pole Position. I haven't played that game since I was like 6. And
yeah.
I guess as an arcade game right now, it's my favorite because I'm just pining for it. I want to play it so bad.
Did you have it on the Commodore 64?
No. I only played it in arcades. No.
No ports, eh? Just the original arcade.
Just the original arcade, and every time I'd walk into an arcade, I'd gravitate right to it. I'm like, yep, there's my game.
Get out of my way.
I'm actually really good at car racing games. I could brag about that a little bit.
Yeah, I bet, because I know I suck at them. And
except for Mario Kart. I suck at Mario Kart.
I don't know. The only car game I really enjoyed was Chase HQ or Chase Headquarters or whatever it was, and you're just driving around trying to catch criminals. And that was a classic arcade game too. I mean, that was like the steering wheel had like a shifter where you can go into like turbo mode and stuff. And it was really simple. I mean, you're just driving until you find the car. I like the cars because they were all like Lamborghinis and Porsches and stuff. I mean, you had to like smash into the back of them. I mean, you were driving a Porsche 928. I think that's what I liked about it. Not the gameplay was meh.
The steering wheel is key, by the way. I have a game called Hard Drivin' on my Sega, and I don't have a steering wheel, and my thumbs would be like major blisters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't really like playing car games without a wheel.
An actual driving wheel. Yeah.
Yeah, an actual driving wheel.
Yeah.
Not as fun.
So, is there anything you like to do other than video games and music with your spare time, or is this your time?
I love to sleep. I love sleeping.
Sleep's good.
Sleep's good. I love watching movies. I just love the arts as well. You know, like music is one extension. The other thing is movies and documentaries. I've watched every documentary there is on video games, and I wish there was more. But I love documentaries in general, just because it's people's stories. And I used to be a gymnast. I used to play soccer, so I'm like an ex-athlete.
Superstar.
No, and then I also love animals. So
yeah, I saw something about petting kittens or something on your. So you have a cat? Do you like cats or?
I fostered a kitten last summer in Turkey.
Oh, but you don't have a cat now.
No, I travel too much.
No.
But I love kittens and puppies, and if I could have a bunch of them every Sunday just show up at my door, that's the only thing that would maybe make me stop playing video games is if the doorbell rang and there was a box of puppies and kittens.
Not too much into cats myself, but I do have a Chihuahua, so
oh, they're cute. Chihuahuas are adorable.
Yeah, she's my little lap dog. She loves it.
So you don't like kittens, like baby kitties, like? They're not evil.
When I used to live with my parents, my mom had cats, and yeah, I liked them then. But I think now I think I'm more of a dog person. So
that's fair enough.
And I work for a company that deals with dogs, so it's all about dogs now.
Doggies, they're the best too. Love
them. And so okay. I guess my last question here is, so what are your future plans, your ambitions and stuff? Like, where do you see yourself going? I know you were talking about a new LP coming out, and so
new EP coming out with David Andronico. New EP, lots of songs about video games and lots of music like sounds like video games. I think the next step would be to have some music in an actual video game. I think that would be fantastic. I'm gonna make that a goal of mine.
start getting friendly with the game developers and stuff.
Yeah. Why not?
EA Sports. Oh, you got that one person you were just mentioning that got his music in there, so you never know.
Well, he's the producer I'm working with.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for him.
Get him to nudge some people and.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I came to the end of my little question list there. And any other questions you might have had for me, or anything you want to throw out?
I have another shout out. So earlier this year, I played a double concert with an awesome band called Console, and it's spelled console like SOUL, but like console like a game, And they play brass arrangements of video game music. They're a really fun band. So we did a concert together, and I just wanted to do a shout out. What we did the show for was for Game Changer and for Child's Play charities. Cool. And they gave us a whole bunch of loot that we raffled off, and they're just amazing. And here, like Child's Play goes to hospitals, and they hand out this brochure about how certain different video games can actually help children improve their symptoms and actually get better in the hospital, which is amazing. So there's like recommended games for children under 12, games for 12 and older, and like certain games can actually relieve anxiety and symptoms of hyperactivity. sadness. You know, it just goes on and on. There's cognitive impairment, which I think is just so cool. So I just want to give a shout out to Child's Play charity and Game Changer charities. They are awesome people, and they're both on Twitter, and they've been very kind to me. So follow them, and I guess my question for you was, you know, like, what's your ultimate favorite game?
Well, it's on your dress, so that would be Donkey Kong.
Oh, that's right, it's Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I mean, I probably have a secondary. I'd probably go towards Legend of Zelda, because it was just such a different game for me at the time.
Yeah.
But Donkey Kong was like, when I was a kid, if I walked into the arcade, that was the one I went for, if I could find it. And then that was back when, like, say, Chuck E. Cheese actually had arcade games. Like, they don't do that anymore, right?
Yeah.
But back when I was a kid, or when we were kids, they would have actual arcades, and that would be the one I'd gravitate towards. And one of my first games that I really got excited about getting on my in television was the Donkey Kong. And I still have it today. I still have my physical card today, which I've kept. And it's always been my favorite game, even though a lot of people slam it. It's not the best port. It's like, you know, I've done a few videos on it, so I've talked about it. But yeah, that's always been my favorite game, and that's part of why when I saw your dress, I was like, damn!
Yay, Donkey Kong!
It's awesome.
Well, thanks for chatting with me, and everybody can follow me on Saniyé Music. And
yeah, so we're gonna put a bunch of links into the description, and all the people you had links to.
I have some fun toys. I have a coloring book. It's like.
Yeah, so I just want to say thanks, Saniyé, for being my.
Thanks so much for having me.
A little bit of an audio.
It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. A little bit of an audio issue there. I know the streaming's not always perfect, and so this is going to be a two-parter video, but, you know, that's just more fun stuff to watch.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a privilege talking with you. So
you as
thanks,
well,
everybody, and thanks all for tuning in.
Maybe we'll play some games next time.
Thanks to those in the live chat, and for just tuning in. Anyways, talk to you guys later.